Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Hulu's new film, Sex Appeal. And this is from director Talia Osteen, based off of Tate Haniak's script, and focuses on the young Avery, who's a teenage girl in high school, who is super scientific, super, rigid, and very pragmatic about everything, who has a long-distance boyfriend who she's going to meet up with at STEMCon, which she wants to go in there creating an app that helps you have a good sexual experience. And now she needs to figure out how to have sex before she meets her boyfriend, so she ropes in Larson, her longtime friend who she's experimented with plenty of times before for all of her science projects, and now she wants to practice being sex buddies so that she can learn how to have intercourse before she has it with her boyfriend. Wow, this couldn't go poorly, right? And you have this teen rom-com that really does fit, for the most part, deeply into those kinds of cliches and tropes of teenage romance. But you have Avery, played by Mika Abdalla, who, the tricky thing is, it's a very committed performance from Abdalla. She gives a really fine performance, and she has some moments where you do really connect with her, but for the most part, she's so distant as a character that it's hard to relate with her. There are moments where you feel like you do get a little bit deeper into her, but she's so at arm's length with everything. That includes the audience, and it challenges us to really connect with her. And especially because her sex buddy Larson, played by Jake Short, is very likable. He's a nice guy, and he has other young women interested in him, but you have Avery acting so selfishly, trying to pull him in almost every day after school to slowly start messing around, and she wants these particular things and shuts him down because she doesn't really know how to process the feelings of what's going on inside her in relation to Larson, because she doesn't see love as a feeling, it's a choice, and she doesn't see sex and love being connected, but Larson does. He's more hopelessly romantic. And you can tell that there's a connection here. He really loves her. Deep down, she probably really loves him. But I don't think she knows what love is, and that's one of the challenges of this story. And some of the added flourishes of the film, you have a cool, smoking sex ed teacher. You have Paris Jackson, who plays the sex pot of the school, who knows everything about sex and tries to help Avery learn a little bit on her own. And then you have Avery's three mothers, her two mothers, and her one mother's new wife, who's her added mother. And they're all a lot of fun. Fortune Feimster is great, but you also have Rebecca Henderson, who plays Kim, who's the added mother to the equation. She has a really, really awesome moment with Avery later in the film that really captures the themes. And when those themes start hitting in the third act of this film, that's when I really felt connected to this film. And it felt like it was doing something different, because it doesn't necessarily play out exactly how you expect a rom-com to go, especially a teenage one. And I appreciate the very sex-positive nature of the film that Osteen creates around it. There isn't a whole lot of judgment for sexuality in this film, and it's appreciated. And I really enjoy every time Avery gets to some kind of sexual climax, it cuts away to a creative visual representation of what's going on, whether it's water dancing or Larson walking around this long tunnel, rubbing different parts on the wall, and you can tell that Avery is responding to it because he's obviously playing around with her. And some of those scenes are just fun and interesting, and in a bold way of representing those things. And by the end, about 2/3 of this film hit familiar beats. You know exactly how this is going to play out. But it does take some bolder choices in the third act that makes it more interesting, which bumped this film up a bit for me from just being your regular old teenage rom-com. And I really appreciated this film for what it had to say. even if narratively, for the most part, it's pretty familiar. But I think the sex-positive messaging and the overall messaging of the film by the end really makes this a worthwhile experience, and I think it's worth checking out right now on Hulu. But those are my thoughts on Sex Appeal. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.